Happy birthday, Mr. President. I mean, Mr. Pink. My name's Hickory, and I'm going to be singing you a little song. You want to join me, Jimmy?
I'm not sure. Sure, let's do this.
Happy birthday
to
you,
you.
Mr. Pink.
Have-
Happy birthday to you, Mr. Pink. Happy birthday to you, Mr. Pink.
I'm broken. I
Happy
can't.
To you.
Ladies
and gentlemen, welcome to the GXPC Season 4, Week 7, a matchup between NFG and Phoenix Rising. My name is Hickory with that beautiful oration. Joining me tonight is Jimmy McBritish. He's going to be my color, getting me through everything with the analysis. We are going to be jumping into the draft here in a second or two. But Jimmy, how are you feeling tonight? I know it's been a delay, but are you pumped? Are you ready? Is your head in the game?
Let's do this!
That's excellent. I love that. No one ever gives me affirmation in my energy. They're always like, "Oh, yeah, I'm okay." At any rate, before we jump in it's been kind of a while since we started the stream, so I want to kind of like get everyone's head in the game. It is going to be NFG versus Phoenix Rising. Can you give me just a little bit of a background of these teams for anyone that might be new to us, or just maybe just hasn't watched these teams in recent weeks?
Well, I played with NFG back in Season 2. And they were a pretty okay team. I didn't get a chance to actually see the first half of Season 4. I missed out on Season 3, but I'm back. I'm ready to get back in the action. So far, from what I've seen from NFG, is they've been doing good. Not the greatest. They're not White Lotus for any means, but they have shown that they are there to try to secure a spot in the top.
Awesome. Is there anything that NFG needs to ban then? And you said they're playing pretty well, but I mean, there's still some things that might be hawking them a little bit, right?
I think right now for NFG, it's not really of what they don't want to play against. It's what they want to play and how are they going to play it. That seems to be the biggest issue I've seen over the course of like watching the games with NFG in them. They don't really care what the enemy's playing. Just a couple of days ago, we watched a game. Actually, this might have been last night. We watched a game where the team early, mid to late should have beat NFG, but they somehow pulled it out. So, I mean, that's kind of where I sit. It's like, what do they want to play and how do they want to play it?
So, we'll get to Phoenix Rising in a second. I do want to kind of keep up with NFG. A lot of the colors that I've been talking to, and a lot of the analysts have been a little bit worried about NFG's laning phase. How do you kind of feel about that? Before we get to the fights, before we get to like team competitions and stuff like that, but how do you feel about just the one-on-one matchups, the two-on-two, and kind of that?
Well, here's what they have going for him. Harbinger is decent. He doesn't try to give up too much space in that top lane, but he's not a super aggressive player either. He tends to play pretty passively. Versus Arrow, he's awesome. I've seen him do great things, and we've already got the Varus. That's a super comfort pick right there, so that's already a good sign. As far as cleansing in the jungle, he's really good about keeping on time with his camps and being able to pick up a quick gank. As far as the just for Penguin, I mean, I haven't really seen too much of them, but I think what's really going to be the detriment there is ward placement. Super Scyther in the mid, he's been all right this season from what I've seen. Again, hasn't played too aggressively, but isn't too passive. Just kind of sits there and just waits for cleansing to come in. So early lane phase isn't their strongest, except for that bot lane with Arrow.
So Jazer Penguin really likes the daddy supports, as I like to call them. So with Alistar banned and Braum being picked up by Darkese, he might be pushed down his tier a little bit. We are going to have to see him a little bit more. But so speaking, though, of Phoenix, who have picked up the Lucian and the Braum, I do want to just clarify really quickly that unfortunately Phoenix, due to the delay, did have to give up their last 3 bans, but they were able to pick up the Swain and the Alistar. And so you're talking a lot about Arrow. I mean, I've seen Arrow really, really pop off. How do you feel about Nutrinx and Darkese coming up as the counterpart duo lane with specifically this Lucian Braum already picked?
Well, to be honest, I haven't seen Nartrinx and Darkis actually play, so this is going to be kind of a new one for me. Just based on what I've seen from Arrow, if they play at the level that I expect to see in a tournament format like this, depending on the way that the Lucian's building, I think he could actually take Arrow out. Lucian's a really strong champion. Varus struggles in the early game. So if you can get ahead of that and get to that mid to late game build before Varus starts to pop off, I think they'll do great.
So basically, hit him hard, hit him fast, and then just hope he doesn't take over the game in the end.
Yeah, that's really all you have to do. I mean, in mid game, Varus is just too strong. Once he starts popping that attack speed up, once he gets a little bit of that lifesteal, that's pretty much it. I mean, Varus doesn't really have to worry about building too much damage. He just does damage. Lucian, on the other hand, you need to be consistently putting damage and attack speed into that kit.
Okay. Okay, I can follow that. Thank you for the insight. There's a couple more picks coming in. Do you think that Lux is a support or mid really quickly?
I could see her being a flex, honestly. With the Varus, I wouldn't really want to play Lux in the bot lane, especially against the Braum Lucian. That just wouldn't be the smartest thing to do, but they do have that option if need be.
So it is going to be the daddy support, which I was looking for Jays for Penguin, which is probably going to leave K's to the counter pick, right?
Yeah, I have a feeling we're gonna get something super broken. I'd like to see a Kali in the mid.
Ooh, I've seen so much Urgot. He's mid, and I'm pretty excited to see that. It's probably gonna go top with the Lux, but I've seen a lot of Urgot mid. Really excited. You're betting on a Kali into the Lux. That is a lot of I'm going at you, small people on the side of Phoenix Rising.
You have to look at it this way. All right, you've got the Kennen in the top lane. He's already going to be like running and gunning. You've got a Mumu who wants to get in there, who wants to disrupt in team fights. Same thing with the Braum. They pick up the Cassidy. That's basically the same thing as an Akali. Just in and out, just quick damage, burst them out. That's done.
So with Cassidy, I guess it would have worked with Akali, but I guess my question being, is Kennen AD or AP?
If I was playing Kennen, I'd play AP. That's the only way to play Kennen, right? I don't know. I'm asking. I'm a season 2 player. So you know, I've seen a lot of AP Kennen, I've seen a lot of AD Kennen, and I just feel like the AP Kennen scales a lot better. So if they really want to get into something with the Urgot up top, you want to play that AP Kennen.
Okay, hopefully said AP Kennen does not take Cleanse and Smite. But either way, how do you feel about these lineups? Can you maybe give me like a little bit of win condition of like NFG?
NFG is really looking to just kind of make it to that mid game and really start scaling. You look at the lineup, you've got the Olaf, the Varus, Lux, Urgot. They all want to get to a mid game. They all want to get, you know, some decent items and then really push forth. Whereas if you look at Phoenix Rising, they're all about that lane pressure. They want to get in your face. They want to do as much damage as possible. Once you get to that mid game, their whole thing is going to just revolve around a Mumu ult with the Kennen ult. You've got Braum, who's going to be able to get in there, slow some people down, and Lucian Cassidy are just going to pick people off and clean them up.
That's a lot of AoE ults on this side of Phoenix Rising.
Yeah, so really what you're looking at is, do you want that early mid game on Phoenix, or do you want to get to that mid game with NFG? I think once those scales turn to either direction is where we're gonna see just like a big bulldozer. You know, one team is just gonna get destroyed, and that's how I feel this game is gonna go.
So which is the team that's gonna get destroyed?
You know, as much as I like the way that I've seen NFG play, I'm going to have to give it to Phoenix Rising. They just have that earlier, more successful team composition. Okay,
so the first game, in our opinion, is going to Phoenix Rising. Can you, however, predict the rest of the series? Is it a 2-1? Is it a 2-0? Who is winning?
I mean, if I'm solely basing it off this lineup. I think Phoenix Rising takes it 2-0.
No, I'm not talking about just this draft, but 2-0 for Phoenix Rising?
Yeah, 2-0 Phoenix Rising.
Okay, guys, you heard it from the color desk. 2-0 for Phoenix Rising. However, you need to make sure to vote on who you think will win. Bet in the chat. Let us know. And we're always interested to see what the fan vote is. All you have to do is some sort of exclamation bet, I believe. And then you can decide who you are backing. I'm also just going to interested if you just let me know if it's a 2-1, 2-0, if you think it's a 1-2. I'm curious as to what you feel. But really quickly, Jimmy, who gets the first blood on home at what time of the game?
I'm gonna give it to NFG on Olaf in the top lane.
So cleansing kills Alexander at,
I say, right around 2 minutes 30 seconds.
2 minutes 30 seconds. That'd be a level 2 gank, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Level 2 gank, Olaf cleansing on Alexander in the top lane. Kenan, thank you very much. I'm going to keep that in my brain. I'm going to hold you to it. There is a prize if you get it right. But until we get there, thank you all for joining us for this draft. We will see you in just a minute for Game 1 of NFG versus Phoenix Rising. You guys don't touch that browser.
This is Tim Borseth, and I own and operate Games XP in Decorah, Iowa. Games XP is a geek paradise. We carry everything from Pong and Atari all the way to Xbox One and PS4, and all the games that would go with those consoles as well. We also carry a ton of movies. We have handheld games. We have Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon. We have D&D and Pathfinder. We carry Warhammer 40K. We have a vintage Star Wars selection. This place is great. My wife and I have had 6 kids, and they are so much fun with here at the store. They run the store as much as I do.
And we now repair cell phones, game consoles, computers, and small electronics.
Our store is instant fun. Not only is there cool music and cool stuff to look at, but we have a game room that is so much fun, free to play. And you just plug in your game system and enjoy life. The Game XP motto is bringing joy to people's lives through our products, people, and a place to play. So you have got to come to Decorah, Iowa and check out Games XP and experience this geek gaming paradise.
Friends, welcome back to Game 1 between Phoenix Rising and NFG. The desk decided that this is a Phoenix Rising win. I'm still curious to see what your belief is on who's going to win this first game. As we do have a 5-man group going top. Jimmy, how do you feel about this pause?
Well, the pause is a great sign. Just icing the other team right out the gate.
See, I baited you there. You thought I was going to ask about the 5-man.
Yeah, I joke.
I don't care about that. So as we get back into the game, I want to let you know that you have voted 75% for NFG winning this game, and only 25 are going for Phoenix Rising. Where are my Phoenix Rising fans as NFG tries to invade? Nothing going to happen. Ooh, nice little CS for Mr. Arrow down in the bot lane.
Oh, yeah. And let's not forget, you can also vote for your MVP of the game.
Wait, can you?
Yeah, you can. You can vote for your MVP, and if you win, I think you get a little extra credits or points or whatever. So, you know, good on you.
Oh, you mean you would, like, guess who the MVP is, and then if we pick said MVP, then you get credit?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. I did not know that. Did you guys in the stream know that if you can guess who the MVP is?
They didn't say anything.
Yeah, they can't talk to me, but I mean, that's a rhetorical question. But that's pretty cool. But I do want to look at all this vision down in the bot side of the map because of the little invade in the top side. I don't think it's going to do anything too crazy, though, do you?
I mean, they got some really deep vision in that bot side. They're really looking to see if cleansing is going to come down to try to get any early pressure in that bot lane. I don't think that's really what they need to be worrying about. I think they need to worry about the top lane.
So, before we get to top lane, is there anything standing out rune-wise, item-wise, anything? Everything fine? TP on Kasdan seems fine, right? Airy on Urgot. Anything coming to mind?
It all looks pretty standard to me, honestly. Nothing too surprising. Nothing that I would automatically be like, "Whoa, bro, what are you doing? This isn't norms, all right?"
Yeah. I mean, every once in a while, you see that like, Comet ADC playing, Jinx, and you're like, okay, that's gonna be fun. Let's see how those W's work. But I do want to mention something because of the blue buff start. I don't think Olaf is going to get first blood on the top lane.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised he started in blue. I figured he would start red, but
well, he's also jungle clearing. Do you maybe he was worried about an invade?
It is possible. It also could be, that they did get a peek of them throwing that vision deep, so he just didn't want to go down there.
Interesting about it. We're going to see how it goes. I am kind of curious. He full cleared his blue side. He's now on his Raptors, getting possibly his second scuttle, actually. Interestingly, even though Canadian Champ had so much vision on cleansing, cleansing is going to pick up both of the scuttle crabs. It feels really, really good 3 minutes in as the Broloff, although he's unfortunately not the right skin. But otherwise, all we're seeing is Arrow just really, really hard push this bot lane. Same with Harbinger, trying to keep things up. A bit of a CS lead, actually, top lane. How does Kennen feel into Urgot?
I've played a lot of Urgot, and Urgot's really good at just pressure. He's almost, with that Gatling gun, he's almost like a Morgana. All he wants to do is just CS and CS and CS. If Kennen continues to let him do that, it's going to be a problem.
You mentioned Morgana. Is there any difference, and it kind of gets me in the mind of mid lane, so is there any difference between Urgot mid and Urgot top? Because I'm mainly seeing Urgot mids recently. I can't imagine there'd be a massive difference when you go to the top lane.
In the top lane, you want to focus more on just straight up pressure, not too much damage. You obviously want to build Urgot a lot tankier. So we're going to see a lot more items like Thorn Mail or, whatever. Righteous Glory, I could see being on him.
What about Cleaver?
Black Cleaver, yeah.
A little bit of an engagement in the bot lane. I don't think there's enough damage just yet to go on to Daddy Braum. But it's a nice trade. A little bit of damage traded back though towards Arrow, even though there is a level advantage for Arrow, surprisingly, as he's still getting about a wave ahead. But no one really wants to go just yet. No summoners, and actually no junglers. They've been really calmly full clearing. Cleansing actually went back for his first back and his Predator, although Canadian Champ is still on his, I guess, from start back, if you will. Invade in the top side, actually. Let's see what Cleansing does end up doing. He might just be pushing Canadian Champ off. I don't think he wants to go in all just yet. He is going to steal a little bit of those Raptors, I believe. Feels kind of bad. Cleansing was pretty low because he had not backed. And with Cleansing's, sorry, a Canadian Champ had not backed. So with Cleansing's earlier back, he is able to pick up a little more. I'm still actually kind of interested in what either of these junglers are going to do. Nothing just yet. Not actually a lot of aggression from either team just yet.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising, especially with Olaf. You want to have that early pressure, especially against a Mumu who mid-game is just going to, like, squash you. I do want to point out something that's a little weird. Lux does have minion dematerializer. Not that big of a deal. Me personally, kind of a wasted rune slot.
Would you prefer biscuits?
I mean, I would prefer anything over minion dematerializer, honestly.
So I've been playing a lot of biscuits and what's it called, Time Warp Tonic, just because it feels really, really nice to not have to back at level 4 because I'm bad at mana conservation. But Cleansing is going to throw a couple undertows onto Canadian Champ. Canadian Champ's pretty tanky. I can't believe he's going to take too much damage. Little bit of a smack around from the Viking, and that's going to be it. Nothing too much yet. They aren't going to go for the Dragon. And I do think the Canadian Champ picked up the Scuttle Crab, his first of the game. Good thing he's not playing Kindred, or else that'd be his first stack.
Yeah, and Varus did actually back and get a call and a vamp step, so already proving that he's trying to work towards that early Bork. The call is just going to help get that early gold and really help him push that lane super hard early on.
Yeah, he's actually already a 10th of the way done with it by the time we even noticed. Probably about the same time the new Trinks and Darkis noticed, unfortunately. So there's a lot more gold into Arrow. Definitely a strong carry that we're going to have to keep our eye on. But the passiveness of this game is becoming more and more interesting to me. While we might see first bloods at about 20 minutes in the LCS, we're pretty used to some scrappy games here at the GXPC. So we're going to see who ends up going for that real first engagement. Are we just waiting for ultimates at this point?
Yeah, I think at this point the ults are really going to be the biggest favorite.
Speaking of an ultimate, top lane, they throw out the final spark easily, as well as Death from Beyond. And that's going to be first blood for Harbinger. Pretty actually easily picked up. He had zero vision.
Yeah, that's exactly the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. Early game, all NFG wants to do is just get into some phase and break you down.
Why didn't he ward? Speaking of ward, in the bot lane.
Yeah.
A nice root, actually, from Super Scyther. I think he doesn't have his ult or anything. He's just going to be kind of poking around. And Cleansing is going to back in the bot lane. But that looked like just kind of like a pretty easy rotation from Super Scyther with 2 pink wards on the way there.
Yeah, you know, it just goes to show that you got to have pinks, not just... you know, in your river and entrances and stuff like that, but you need to have some ward coverage in the jungle as well. You can't just let the guy roam around when you don't have very good vision of the entryways.
Well, with such poor vision of the entryways, shouldn't that let Cleansing invade a little bit more? Or is he just kind of chilling as a Canadian Champion might be trying to help out Case? But actually, there's an engagement on the bot lane. The chains go out. Nice dodge from Arrow. He does not get hit by the ultimate, but a lot of damage coming out from Nutrix. The culling is fully onto Arrow. Arrow's going to flash away. And actually, here comes Alexander with the TP play. He does pull out Arrow. Actually, Darkis gets the kill. A knockback on to Nutrix might be a kill for Harbinger. That's the second of his game. And surprisingly, James Verpengen is going to walk away. Let's see if the play is over just yet. Case is coming. Canadian Champion is coming. Looks like NFG is going to have to back out. Do they make it out? Canadian Champion got stuck here. I think he's okay. Flash forward actually from Cleansing. Don't know if that's going to be enough to get into Canadian Champ. This fight is really, really split. Cleansing might have gotten himself caught out a little bit here as Braum is trying to help, but Canadian Champ goes for it. 1 into 3. Darkey's still managing to tank up quite a lot. There's the final spark, but it's not enough to finish things off. And Fear Beyond Death takes Harbinger for a 3rd kill. Wow, that was a long game. Fight.
Jeez, I like, what do you want to do to try to come back from that? I don't. Harbinger already 3-0, and we're only 10 minutes into the game.
He is sitting in his base right now, so it kind of seems like he's waiting for Black Cleaver. No, okay. I thought he had already got the gold for Black Cleaver at 10 minutes. I was like, oh no, this is going to be scary. But that was a great TP from Harbinger. I thought he was too late. Alexander was there. He had the Slicing Maelstrom. He had Arrow, the big carry. And then things got a little bit weird.
Yeah, and Cleansing's still in the jungle, clearing stuff out. I think he kind of wants to wait off a little bit until he can get some items finished. I don't know. He hasn't seemed to be too detrimental to any of these fights that we've seen thus far.
Yeah, Cleansing kind of just, I guess, continued the play, but didn't seem to be much of a major factor. As actually, though, Super Scyther is trying to make a play top lane. He doesn't have exhaust, but he does hit the root, gets the final spar. Oh no! A little bit of miscommunication between Harbinger and Super Scyther. That's going to block off the play. That might have been enough, really, for the kill. I'm not sure.
Harbinger's ult is going to be up in like 3 seconds. So
he does have his ult up, but I don't think he wants to fight it, as Kaze has gone MIA on a ward, I guess. So not really MIA, but he left his lane. That was just really, really unfortunate to watch. Yeah, okay. I was wondering if Harbinger with the ultimate, but nothing going on. You know, actually something that I've noticed, I didn't mention this, when the first Corrupting Chains hit, Arrow hits an immensely high percentage of his Corrupting Chains. I mean, he hit his first one on a Darkey's. It's already off cooldown. There is a flash on New Trinks, but not on Darkey's. He might want to go once again in the bot lane. We're going to have to see. Surprisingly, a farm lane in the mid lane, though. What do you think about that?
You know, it's Kassadin versus Lux. Post 6, Kassadin should be playing a lot more aggressively, but it could just be that because Lux does have those 2 assists, she is up some gold on the Kassadin. So really, it's kind of a wait it out, see if Lux messes up, and go in on her.
It's about 200 gold specifically for Super Scyther over Kaze, which actually does feel kind of nice. This means he's going to finish his first item first. However, Phoenix Rising is going to go for the dragon as downtown death, Fear Beyond Death. Nice kill, a 4th kill for Harbinger as the dragon was traded for Phoenix Rising. Worth, not worth? What's going on?
You know, I think it's going to be worth. You get Lux another assist. Harbinger's 4-0. He's going to take that tower. I mean, yeah, you're missing out on an Earth Drake, but not too big of an issue. I mean, it's definitely one of the more valuable dragons, but Harbinger at this point is just going to try to carry the team. We see him do it just last night.
Yeah, with the first brick, I don't think it was explicitly for Harbinger, but it is going to be the first gold bonus. Well, actually, Cleansing is somehow snuck his way into the bot lane. There goes the chains, and it is knocked onto Darkey's. A nice ultimate come from Jason Penguin to keep everybody alive. Really easy kill picked up for Arrow, but can he get away as New Trinks flashes forward? It might have been too aggressive. He gets stunned up by Jace for Penguin, and Arrow does get away at the cost of Cleansing and probably Jace for Penguin as well. Kaze and Canadian Champ come to clean it up 2 for 2. But one of those kills do go on to Arrow, who is actually not massively ahead of gold as his opponent, New Trinks. But it might actually continue here a little bit. Kaze does walk his way out. Unfortunately, they don't know where he is. Super Scyther might be able to hit this root. He does hit it. Let's see if the final spark goes on to him. Wow, he actually holds it a little bit. Doesn't want to fish off the play. These really extended fights bot lane.
Yeah, there's a lot of action in that bot lane right now. The cool thing about that whole thing is, even though it doesn't really seem worth it, Varus getting that 1 kill just allowed him to complete his Bork. He's starting in on his 2nd item, and he's already at 35 creeps left on his call, so that's going to be an extra 350 gold once he finishes it.
He has about 100 gold lead on Nutrix because Nutrix has actually been able to farm very, very well after the first, I don't know, 2 or 3 levels when we saw Arrow have a decent lead. But after the first, I guess, bot lane play, Nutrix has really been able to push forward in the CS lead, so the gold lane's really, really dead on even. Actually, literally dead on even right now. But Harbinger has rotated. That's going to leave Alexander to kind of 2v1 in the top lane. Should he be backing off? Can he fight this at all? Chains of Corruption is up again. Oh, that's a final spark! And he does not get it, unfortunately. Wow, nice kill though for Cleansing. Is going to keep them from picking up the Rift Herald. Canadian Champ is just trying to grab it really quick before he dies. I hope that NFG stays to try and block it out. They have the time.
Try to zone it out so it disappears. I like the idea of it, yeah.
It's only 40 seconds, 50 seconds, I think. It's actually a very, very short time. It's already ticking off right now. Flash forward from Cleansing. He doesn't get the stun off, though. He Ragnaroks, he rolls, he undertows onto Alexander. Alexander's really, really low, and he flashes away at the last second. Undertow gets him. Ooh, that was amazing. Might have been a red buff proc, not sure. Very nice kill coming in for Cleansing. Definitely going to lose the Rift Herald. It was only 100 gold for Canadian Champ. That feels so bad, man.
Yeah, that could have been one of those plays, you know, if he would have picked it up just in that quick second as it went down, he would have been in a lot better position with his team, but right now, they're not happy with him.
Yeah, trading 1 kill for a Rift Herald, oh, it feels bad, but you can get such a push off of it. You can, you know, maybe get a double kill bot lane and then get, you know, 2 towers. It's all great. Those 2 kills, well, I guess for the amount of gold of a blue buff and probably similar experience, as the top lane is going to get sieged here from Arrow, Jays for Penguin, and actually Cleansing's hiding around. He's looking for K's. The tower's going to go down before the Slicing Maelstrom comes out. Nice root and stun onto Alexander. He's going to die instantly after coming back up. K's really wants to turn this around. The Cosmic Radiance does get popped, but I think they want to disengage with the tower and the kill. Alexander's been dead for basically 2 straight minutes, unfortunately. He's 0-5 this game, feeling really, really uncomfortable in this V Urgot matchup. Is this a ban coming next game?
Oh, I could definitely see this being a ban, especially since now they're letting Urgot free farm in the bot lane because Kennen can't do anything about it. He's trying to defend in the top lane, and you just watched Lucian and Braum just teleport out of there, or Cassidy and Lucian. They just got out of there. They can't deal with how big Urgot is already. He's already got the Black Cleaver. He's got Merc Treads. He's building into something with a Glacial Shard, and he's got a Doran, so that's a lot of damage.
That's a scary, scary boy. And speaking of that scary boy, if the production crew could switch over to gold really quick, I do want to actually point out that Harbinger is over 2,000 gold ahead of Alexander. He's the most valuable player on the entire game, and over 1,000 gold ahead of the next person on Phoenix Rising. As an engagement does happen in the river, it's 3-on-4, but here comes Harbinger, the big scary boy, trying to engage with Canadian Champ. Canadian Champ is just really, really tanky. Slicing Maelstrom does go out. This might have been a misengagement from NFG. Almost a perfect clear for the side of Phoenix. 1 for 4. That was a misplay.
And that's the big thing that I was talking about with that Phoenix Rising team. Once they get to that mid game where they have all that CC, that's where you got to really look out. They're going to go all in. They're going to drop every ult that they can and start wiping people out.
Who cares about your gold lead if we can just wipe every single one of you with one ability?
I'd just like to point out, before that fight, the gold was at 30.4k on NFG to 26.8 on Phoenix. They've just closed that gap to under a K.
Well, they got at least 2 shutdowns, maybe 3. I'm not sure where Arrow must have 2 kills as well. So it must have been 3 shutdowns for them. Don't get the tower, but they get their second Drake of the game. And you're right, only a 1k gold lead at 20 minutes really isn't awful. I mean, that's a completely playable game. And a lot of gold actually went back on Alexander. He's only about 1,000 gold behind the very, very scary Harbinger, who finished a Righteous Glory as his second item. that slicing maelstrom was just disgusting.
Yeah, you're good.
It did.
You're gonna have to watch out for Alexander now, though, because he did get those kills. Now he's a little bit more prevalent in the game. That flash stun ult is going to be ridiculous, and that's going to be detrimental in the coming fights.
I'm not sure which kills he picked up. If he picked up the one on the Harbinger with the big shutdown, that would be really, really intense. But actually, a TP play coming on the bot side. Arrow and GXPC are a little bit cut off here. The Cosmic Radiance to keep them alive a little bit longer. But they're going really another slicing maelstrom, but a huge final spark from Superstar that might be able to turn this around. A lot of blinking health bars, but unfortunately, it's NFG that's blinking more as the culling cleans up the fight. A 5-for-1 this time for the side of Phoenix Rising as we get a pause. I think Darkese actually DC'd in the middle of that fight, but there was an ace for the price of 1, followed by right after a 4 kill for the price of 1. Incredible turnaround. They almost have a gold lead now, and are they pathing towards Baron? Or are they just going to pick up mid?
It looks like they could path towards Baron. With Alexander down, I don't think it would be the smartest idea. I think you'd knock down that mid tower, first tower there, and maybe get some deep wards. I think that's going to be the safest route. Maybe put a couple of wards on Baron. It is live. Now would be the best time to take it, especially since they've just had 2 team fights back-to-back and have proven that they can win those fights.
Because of the back-to-back team fights, they do have a decent amount of gold in their pockets. They haven't really been able to fully reset. I got a couple uncompleted items on most, mainly their carries, like Nutrinks and Alexander. But if I do some quick maths, I believe that pushing out mid-wave, getting mid-tower, Scuttle Crab, and fixing top and bot will clear up this gold deficit that they have, which is going to feel really, really comfortable to keep winning team fights like that at a gold equivalent. It's going to be even scarier than an ace for 1 kill. They do pick up the mid lane. That actually is the gold deficit right there. Nutrinks might want to push a little bit farther. Not too sure. And you're right. Looks like some vision around the Baron buff just to prep for potentially another team fight, as they do take the first gold lead of the game by just about 500 gold.
It's not much, but they've proven that they can close a 10K gap in minutes. Yeah,
they were... or rather, Harbinger was snowballing out of control for quite some time, and Phoenix Rising put a hard stop to it, completely turned it around. They're starting to take control of this game. What does actually NFG need to do to kind of bring themselves back to where they were just a few moments ago?
Playing cohesively. The hardest thing going against this Phoenix Rising team is the amount of CC that they have, the amount of area effect and dot damage that they're doing. Keeping a split push, a small split push is good, but at the same time, you have to be able to pick off certain members of that team. And you really have to focus on Nutrinks as well as Alexander.
Focus on them as in getting away from them, or killing them before they can scary?
Really just getting them out of the way.
Okay.
And knocking those down. Next to that would be the Kassadin, but I feel like at 2-0-7, with the current build that he has, only 5 stacks on Rylai's, he's not the biggest threat.
It doesn't feel like Hayes has been really scary. It doesn't feel like he's been really playing poorly by any means, but he also doesn't just seem like a I'm going to riff walk onto Arrow and he's going to die, and then I'm going to riff walk away. It's going to be hilarious kind of Kassadin. Maybe in a few moments we'll see him get there. I'm not super used to the Archangel's Kassadin build. I guess it means that you have more rift walks, because it does feel kind of bad after your 3rd rift walk at 20 minutes in the game and you're completely out of mana. I personally haven't played Kassadin in about 6 months now, so I actually am kind of interested in the Archangel's build, but I haven't played it. I haven't seen it too much. I'm gonna have to see how it works out. But there's a lot of vision on the side of Phoenix, especially around the Baron. And it looks like Alexander's kind of baiting here as a rift walk over Silence for Harbinger, but he might just have the fear from death, but he doesn't get any flashes on him. He gets stunned, and Kaze picks up the kill. just before the Fear Beyond Death goes. Darkese with a very nice Glacial Fissure does also disengage the 3v4. One easy kill picked up, and it was actually on Kaze, who we were just wondering if he's going to start really getting the ball rolling.
Yeah, it looks like he could start dealing some potentially pretty lethal damage. You saw him chunking out that Urgot like nobody's business, as Alex Skander was just having to run for his life there. So, Kassadin, probably more scarier than I thought.
Do you play Urgot alone?
I played quite a bit of Urgot, yeah.
Okay, I have not, but I can only imagine that being silenced on Urgot is
not good. Not good. It's essentially like a team up blind on Jinx. I mean, that's one and done.
Okay, that's a great analogy. Actually, I understand that analogy. It makes sense to me now. I've never been on the Teemo side of things, unfortunately. But yeah, that actually, I'm kind of now wondering if Kassadin was less of a counter mid pick and more of a counter Urgot pick or counter, the Jace or Penguin or Arrow pick at this point. This actually very, very interesting interaction with the silence, the null sphere that is. Yeah, with the... Go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, unfortunately, Urgot does tend to fall off if he can't keep the ball rolling. And he's not keeping the ball rolling. He hasn't gotten any more kills since, like, minute 13. He's just been dying.
Well, Kassadin's not really a champion until minute 13, so it's kind of good when your fall-off opponent starts falling off as soon as you start playing the game. It is if Sheen finished. I'm starting to get really, really excited about this Kassadin, actually. I really like assassin plays, especially in the more kind of unique assassins as opposed to, I mean, nothing against, Kali, but... you dive in, you do some stuff, and you walk away. When it comes to more like LeBlanc and stuff, it gets a little more visually appealing for our male viewers. But it looks like there's a bit of a scuffle around this dragon. Cosmic Radiance burned extremely early on the side of NFG. They want to disengage. Canadian Champ does get rooted up, but there's not a lot following it up. Wow, a nice piercing arrow almost gets him, though. That should be enough for the dragon, unless Harbinger and Cleansing has something to say about it. Harbinger really wants to ult on Canadian Champ. He has not gotten it just yet. He's dashing forward on the Kaze, but Kaze has a lot of blinks and outs and ins and outs. There's the Slicing Maelstrom, but it's not enough. Super Scyther picks up the kill. The massive ult from only moments ago is not doing damage, but the culling as Arrow didn't really do too much. The Final Spark is not enough to pick up a kill on Nutrix. Nutrix picks up a double kill, actually. Kaze is back in at full health. He goes on a rampage onto Super Scyther, gets a double kill onto Jace for Penguin. He's trying to pick up another kill onto Harbinger and the Ace for Nutrix. 3 kills for Nutrix, 2 kills for Kaze. Ace picked up for the side of NFG for the price of 1 once again, even though the Slicing Maelstrom was a little bit of an NA ult. It's the only thing that went wrong in that entire team fight as the second Mountain Drake is picked up. How are they winning these team fights?
Well, I'll tell you what they did. They got in there. They let Arrow throw out that binding arrow or whatever it is, and
Chain of Corruption.
Chain of Corruption. He locks down Alex Skander. Alex Skander throws out his ult and says, "Well, I might as well deal a little damage while I'm by myself," and goes down. So then NFG feels safe that they can go in when really it just gave time for Phoenix Rising to back into their jungle, resets the situation, and come back into that, and still not only secure the ace, but secure their second Mountain Dragon. That's going to be detrimental. The fact that they've gotten all 3 dragons thus far in the game, and there hasn't really been too big of a dispute over them.
I was really surprised that Kaze was so high in health after 30 seconds of fighting, and when he re-engaged more than anything. But I mean, Jace Penguin didn't have the Cosmic Radiance. As you mentioned, there is no Chains of Corruption. Unfortunately, Final Spark from Super Scyther really just didn't pop. I mean, there was some damage onto Nutrix, but he came out with a triple kill.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really proving the fact that Phoenix Rising really doesn't care at this point. They've got the gold lead. They're maintaining that gold lead. They're going to keep pushing for that gold lead.
3K plus double mountain is a pretty fast Baron take, is it not?
Yeah, especially when you get the little extra from that Fire Drake.
Oh, that's true, yeah. Just get more AD on top to Baron. Why not? As they have full vision control, they might be looking that way here pretty soon. I'm not sure NFG can do too much about it, especially with just this team fighting prowess. I guess my kind of question is, do you need, like, we saw Harbinger force really hard in the early game and things went a little bit awry, unfortunately. Do you need to force even harder to try and keep Phoenix Rising from getting into this, you know, team fighting ability?
I think at this point, for NFG, the real way that they're going to get back into this, maintain ward control, get picks. You get picks and start to get a little more out of control once that Olaf gets big, once Varus gets big, once Lux gets big. I mean, CDR Lux is still a thing. It's still pretty prominent. She's already starting to build that way. The team wants to get to that late game. They excelled in the early game. Now they got to get to the late game.
Predator is popped on the Canadian champ. It's going to force out a teleport from Kaze. But actually, it looks like Canadian champs were happy to re-engage here. Cosmic Radiance. Whoa, wow, Kaze just... Cosmic Radiance even pops, hits onto Cleansing and Arrow. Arrow hits the chain to try and disengage. Probably going to be the end of the fight, but wow, Jace for picking pop instantly, and so does not anyone else, as Super Scyther does not have enough damage for the final spark, but Canadian Champion is in. He drops the ult. Culling is behind him. He's shut down by Super Scyther, who you're mentioning is trying to get some CDR. 1-for-1 trade. A little bit of an odd final engagement there.
That was kind of a good pick. You know, they got the Amumu out. Alex Skander's looking a little low, but NFG is still pretty healthy.
They're trying to siege up onto this bot lane tower. They're not able to get it just yet with Harbinger's surprisingly strong wave clear, actually. And Super Scyther waiting on the wings is pretty scary, specifically for Alex Skander, who can just get one rotated on by the Lux. And they're going to hold this mid lane tower. Did that also maybe give them a little bit of undeserved pressure on the Baron by killing Canadian Champ as well?
You know, it is possible. They are now going in, clearing wards, getting their own wards put back up. They're waiting for Canadian Champ to come back in, and now it's going to be a big fight over this Baron. You're looking at the Vision fight right now. It's just back and forth, getting rid of wards.
Well, this is the first time that MFG's really had any Vision for some time now. They haven't cleared all of Phoenix Rising's Vision, but they finally got in there with a couple sweepers, finally got rid of a couple pinks. They're probably feeling a lot more comfortable. I mean, at any moment, it almost felt like Phoenix Rising could have just started up the Baron just all of a sudden. But for the time being, they are okay. It looked so good from Phoenix for the first few moments when they just absolutely obliterated Jace Pagan. I thought it was Baron right then and there, especially with a few blown flashes, a few blown ults. But things got a little bit trigger happy. But they still do have basic control. While the Vision was there for NFG for a second or two, it's gone almost as fast as it came. They might be setting up for a little bit of a bait here. That's going to be scary to walk into Aliskander and Canadian Champion right now. A lot of AoE. We'll see if they start up the Baron. They're still clearing wards. Oh no, Cleansing did have to check. He was afraid they were on it. The Culling goes out. Another Rift Walk for Kaze. It's a free kill. He's 7-0. We were just saying that he was only 2-0 a few moments ago. He has ratcheted up the kills extremely fast. He has 3 items finished. There's no smite on the side of NFG because Cleansing felt like he had to unfortunately face check because there was no vision control at all for his team. Really easy Baron picked up. They might be able to trade for the mid lane here. In fact, they're actually running out of minions. That's it. They do not even get the mid lane. A nice, oh, there's the pretty stopwatch. It's not a stopwatch, it's an hourglass to keep Aliskander from dying. They haven't reset yet, though. They might be go straight into this dragon, are they not?
Yeah, this would be a great dragon for them to pick up. That's the second Infernal Drake. They've already got the Baron. I mean, at this point, I feel like Phoenix could just walk all over NFG. Unless NFG can really turn this around with a couple of picks, they still kind of are in this game.
Whoa, that was a really nice final spark. I thought he was going to hit it instantly after the root.
just at the edge too. That was beautiful.
And Airy gives him the kill. That was pretty from the Super Scyther. Feels kind of good. They got rid of one of the Baron buffs at the least. A little bit of pressure actually as well to pick up this mid lane tower. But that's a double Infernal, double Mountain Drake for the side of Phoenix Rising, who's already shown their team fighting prowess. If you win another ace team fight, that is quite a few towers going down as well. But it is actually NFG that has control of the map for the time being, as they clear out almost the entirety of the top side of the jungle of Phoenix. But they might have to back off here pretty soon, as the scary Baron buffed up Phoenix is making their way onto the map. And actually, Case is kind of on the hunt right now. He might back off. He's doing okay. He was seeing if he could find Super Scyther, but he didn't get all the way.
I mean, it's not a bad thing to go up there and clear that camp while everybody's trying to regroup and do stuff. That was probably one of the best decisions they could make.
Well, the goal lead actually isn't that bad for the side of NFG. It's 4K at 34 minutes. A lot of that because of the they've just been taking when they're kind of granted them, I guess, would be one way to say it. For instance, as Phoenix Rising is backing up from the top lane, they're able to kind of clear up that wave. They weren't really pressured by taking the jungle. Kaze is split pushing mid 4-1 comp right now as he takes up the mid lane tower. I'm feeling a fight here coming pretty soon as Canadian Champ basically just walks on top of Arrow, but he's not really tanking him just yet. Cosmic Radiance isn't keeping him alive. The slicing Maelstrom is almost enough to kill out the entire team. Kaze already gets a kill. He's legendary right now. No deaths on the side of Phoenix as they back off from that pretty easily won team fight. They're going to pick up the top lane tower as well. As I just mentioned, as soon as they win a team fight, a lot of towers are going to go down with these double mountains. They might be able to push for the win here pretty soon. This is a great play so far.
Yeah, this is definitely looking like the winning push. I mean, Amumu is in the mid, but he could just as well, you know, 4-1 comp it again and really push, especially since Urgot is down.
I am terrified of Kaze right now. If I'm pretty literally anyone on the side of NFG, he looks like he just wants to QWR and kill someone. And Darkheist is actually, wow, really tanky. He pops the Lock of the Iron Solari, but he's fine. Riftwalk away from the Predator from the side of Cleansing, and they're just going to calmly back up as soon as Baron buff ran out, taking the top lane inhibitor, a couple other towers, and a really one team fight. But Kaze is looking for Arrow. He jumps out of Arrow. He gets the silence. He does not finish him off just yet. One more hit from the W, one more hit from the Riftwalk is going to be enough. He's walking away. Unfortunately, Canadian Champ is probably going to be traded here, left out to die to Harbinger, who flashed on him. 1-for-1 trade, but Kaze is 9-0-9. That is a terrifying Casa win right now.
Yeah, and I'd just like to point out, you know, we're already 15 kills to 23 kills, 6 towers to 5. The gold lead is almost about 10K again in Phoenix Rising's favor. If you haven't got your bets in now, you've got about 10 minutes if you want to try to get those in before the match is over.
That's a very good point. That game, so you should probably bet. Hedging your bets is always a good thing. I'm now really interested. It was 75% of the bet was for NFG. I'm wondering if there's a few more Phoenix Rising fans in the stream after the past, I don't know, 24 minutes of gameplay.
Throw up those hot wings, girls.
And let's see if they can get the bot lane tower. I think I need double confirmation, but I think I just heard that the vote is actually 50-50. I need a double check on that, as we do see a siege on the bot lane. Nothing.
It is still
yet. It's 60-40 for NFG, a little bit more, 15% actually more for Phoenix Rising. That's quite of an increase. Surprisingly, not as much of an increase as I expected. I thought if I actually would have swapped all the way to 40-60. But Phoenix Rising, who's only 40% of the vote, is going to pick up this bot lane turret, give them an 8.5k gold lead, 8.6k. 48 minutes in the game. This is feeling pretty comfortable. Wow, Cassadet does a lot of turrets at 40 minutes in the game with 4 items. I'm feeling another fight here coming. Where's Canadian Champ? He's been the one starting out basically every single team fight. They're doing the 1-4 once again with K's in the mid lane. They really want to put pressure because they don't have to push the top lane. What does NFG? What can NFG do right now?
You know, I don't think they can do anything at this point. I think they just got to take their lashes and regroup and get ready for the next game.
Okay, well, speaking of the next game,
view.
Is this a drafting error? Is this a communication error? Is this I flashed in and trolled error? I mean, what can they do in the second game?
I think in the second game, they need to keep a little more level-headedness. I think what happened was that Harbinger just got a little too big for his pants and started thinking he could take on the whole world. But in actuality, he's going to fall off in that mid-game up until he gets to the late game.
Bro, I could have 1v9 really easily. I don't know what you're talking about. The Elder Dragon is going to be spawning here in just a moment or two and instantly engaged upon by Phoenix, who does have 4 stacks. Elder is going to be really, really scary. They might be able to pick it up pretty easily. Oh, nice smite confirmation from Canadian Champ as the Slicing Maelstrom does go in, but a really beautiful Cosmic Radiance keeps most of NFG for alive for a very long time, but here comes the gold lead for the side of Phoenix as a double kill goes for Nutrix. He's trying to get the triple kill. Kaze might go down in the return. Super Scyther does pick up a kill, but Kaze actually stays alive. That teleport in. It was a really, really good engagement from the side of NFG, but unfortunately that gold lead, that dragon lead, picking up the Elder Dragon was just a little bit too much for them to handle. And Case is going to Rift Walk away from the root and probably end the game before the rest of his team even gets here. Game 1 for the side of Phoenix. I believe that was your first guess, right?
Yep. I was calling it as Phoenix Rising 2-0. So this is game 1. Let's see if they can secure that game 2.
Yeah, we're halfway to a 2-0. I would like to see a 1-1. I like to see best ofs go to their fullest extent, which would unfortunately mean that if a best of 1 goes to only 1 game, but when you have a best of 3, when we have a best of 5, when we have a best of 7, it has to go to the final game. It's just not as fun in my opinion. I want to check a little bit of some gold damage here. Let's see who did what. Super Scyther actually topped the damage charts. A lot of Lux ults were hitting. He's at 30,000 damage, 6,000 above both Nutrix and Kaze. Pretty impressive. However, Kaze walked away with 17,000 gold, over 3,000 against anyone else in the game, except for Nutrix, who actually has 17,800 gold, who has more than him, because I totally cannot read whatsoever. Nutrix and Kaze are 3,000+ gold over almost everyone in the game, and over doubling the Daddy J's for Penguin on Tarek. We are going to pop things to a little break while we get set up for the second draft. I don't know why I'm pausing as if I were William Shatner. However, this is not Star Trek, so do not tune in to the next episode because we're not going anywhere. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the GXPC. We saw an incredible comeback from Phoenix in Game 1 as they were able to win and is 1-up against NFG. While we did think that they were pretty lucky, I guess, in the draft and had a really strong team composition, they were not doing so well in the first few minutes of the game, but they did come back. So my question to you, Jimmy, how does NFG turn it around to a 1-1?
They really got to keep playing towards their advantages. They've got to stop being so reckless. We saw earlier that they had the lead, but they just got a little too flamboyant with it.
So, okay, so your Harbinger, you're 4-0 on Earth again, right? What do you do to make this game not end the way the previous game did?
If you're a Harbinger, play more towards the team. You know, don't try to solo kill all the time. You've got to keep that team mindset. A lot of the times we saw Harbinger pushing against two other opponents in a lane, so it's just not going to work out as well as what it normally would in a one-on-one situation. If he sticks with the team, they can get more team gold, more team kills, and try to maintain that overall healthy team environment to really push through at the end of the game.
So, okay, so a lot of it is involved in team play, probably communication built in there. Do you need to start with a different draft then to lead into better team play, or can he still do? Can he not end up 1v2ing and things like that on Urgot again, or I guess does he need to play like Malphite or something like that?
Yeah, I think the draft is a little bit a part of it. Urgot's not a bad choice, but you want to think of Urgot as like a tanky assassin. He's really only good for one kill. He might pick up that second one, but once his ult's gone, there's not really to really hurt the enemy team. So if he were to pick something like a Malphite or Maokai, even an Orin, something that can help the entire team, but still help him in the lane.
Actually, I mean, of those three, what would you kind of like to have seen with the previous team comp?
Probably a Maokai, I'm not gonna lie. Just the extra roots and really the ability to pick off like Kassadin, who we just watched go 10-0.
And with surprisingly not a lot of damage. I was quite surprised that he didn't have so much damage, but the kill confirmation coming out of Kaze's Kassadin, it might even warrant a ban. I'm not sure. As the Braum is banned, and the Alistar, Darkese doesn't want to play it this time. They're still really hawking onto JS for Penguin. That's actually 3 support bans now. I kind of wonder if they would have banned Braum last time. But they didn't have their bans, unfortunately, so they had to pick it. Kassadin is banned by the side of NFG. There are a lot of respect given over to Kaze on the very, very scary rift-walking father of Kaisa. I mean, so
with great power comes great responsibility, and Kate showed that he had great power. He intended to use it strictly for his own purpose of winning, but he used it responsibly. That's why he didn't do as much damage as Super Scyther.
Is it responsible to leave your daughter in a void dimension for 20 years?
I mean, it depends on who's babysitting.
I feel like not very respectable characters. But a respectable character is Tristana, picked up for Arrow. He's not going for the Varus again, even though it was left up. And the Urgot is hovered again for Harbinger. We'll see if he does pick up. He does lock it in, actually. Technically, it still can go to Super Scyther. It is a bit of a flex pick nowadays, post 8.16? 15? I mean, something like that.
Flex it if you got it, right?
True. Speaking of flexing, a Canadian champion started basically every single fight that we saw go in the favor of TPR, which was really every single fight. So he's going to pick up the Mumu again. So far, nothing different from the side of Phoenix Rising. Although they've only picked twice. They picked up Lucian last game. They picked the Amumu game. They actually picked up the Taric. No, they did not. It was Jace for Penguin that picked up the Taric. We'll see if Darkis wants to really flex. I mean, that is flexing. If you're gonna play against a very tank-heavy support player and then pick the thing that, well, he just got smashed on. Taric it is for Darkis after batting out both Alistar and Braum. Now I'm really actually interested to see where JS for Penguin goes. I'm not sure I've personally seen him play any of the other three, outside of those three, excuse me.
At this point, Jace for Penguin should probably be thinking something a little more off meta. I don't think Leona is going to be super helpful here. Blitz isn't really a competition style champion. He's more like that solo queue if you want to, you know, steal kills in the bot lane. It might be worth looking at maybe Zyra. You know, you could play off Lux. Brand support has been a thing for a little bit now, but he is, you know, strictly a burst. At this point, I think you kind of want to have that a little bit of that early game pressure again for NFG, just to be able to push Alexander out of his comfort zone, get him really far behind, and watch him just kind of fall off.
How do you feel about Morgana Tristana?
Morg Trist is actually really good, especially if Morg can land those flash ultimates and really get those good lockdowns in team fights and just, you know, bot lane kills for the Tristana. The Tristana pressure is going to be immensely powerful if she gets enough of an advantage, because if she throws those bombs out on those towers just melt. I mean, there are three champions that literally just melt towers, and Tristana is number one. So
Ziggs and whom?
Renekton.
Interesting.
Well, I would say third would be tied for Renekton or Jinx.
Interesting. I can see Jinx. That makes sense. I would never thought of Renekton. Interesting. Is that 'cause the W reset?
I've just watched him melt too many towers.
Okay.
So
yeah, I'm just you know, obviously I've seen Tristana and literally just one-shot towers, which feels bad. As the Gragas is picked up, this actually can go top, jungle, and support. Morgana can flex support and jungle. Urgot can flex mid and top. It's really only the Tristana that we know where it's going. A pretty loosey-goosey kind of draft coming in for NFG. We'll have to see what their final picks are, although you would assume they're saving a counter pick in mid or top for their last pick as opposed
that
to
Jax, though.
Is Alexander a scary Jax?
I mean, that Jax, like just that Jax in general is just like, Jax in general is just gross. He's another one of those tower melters. Once you get his Triforce built and start working on a second item, he can really melt some towers.
Hooray, it's NA Jace.
I don't like that pick.
It's probably for Kaiser. Oh, yes!
The Teemo!
Superside, there has been, one might say, threatening to play Teemo for like a month now. So it's Teemo mid versus NA Jace mid. That is too much fun. Alexander has the same visual bug with Cleanse Smite. That's really bizarre. Although last game he did have Flash TP, so I can assume that he is at this game. So what are we thinking, Jimmy?
You know, I might have to go with NFG on this one. As much as I'd love to see TPR just take it for the win, I don't think they have what it takes to beat this NFG team. Jackson to Urgot, okay, you might get a little crazy there in the beginning. Jason to Teemo, though, I don't know, man. And Morgana's Q is just too strong. I think Taric and Lucian are going to have some problems.
So before we get in a little bit further, I want to tell you something. I want to expose my heart to you.
They
the
should have
vote
played
is bang on even. It's 50-50. The chat doesn't even know who's going to win this series as we get into the second game. You said 2-0. They said 2-0 the other way. They said 2-1. They said 1-2. It's all for NFJ. It's all for Phoenix. But speaking of Phoenix, how do they beat the Super Teemo Scyther man himself?
Just don't engage him. Let Teemo do Teemo things.
What are Teemo things?
Hide in a bush and throw mushrooms everywhere. Just let Teemo be Teemo. Jace, don't even bother going mid because Teemo's not going to take towers anytime soon. Just go help Jax up top. Get that Urgot behind. Teemo's not going to be too big of a threat in the late game if he's not efficient enough in his farming. Just let Teemo miss all that CS because Teemo's not going to have perfect CS.
So, outside of kind of ignoring Teemo, I hear that chemotherapy is a very good treatment to cancer in many cases. And I'm wondering where Phoenix Rising is going to be getting their treatments from.
I think it's going to have to be Morgana.
No, I mean, Phoenix is...
Phoenix is... I'm going to say Amumu. Amumu did a great job. Canadian champ did a great job on doing all the engages last game, really showing up for the team, being there to get those team fights really rolling in the favor of Phoenix. So I think Canadian champ's going to be the chemo of Phoenix.
Oh, nice. Okay. That's always good. I like to see the fight against cancer progress. I am quite against cancer in all shapes and forms.
The more you make a Mumu cry, that's actually the cure itself. So if somebody could just run around and bottle those tears up, we could use those. Interesting.
South Park told me it was money, but I'm not too sure. But anyway, you're thinking that equalize 1-1.
I mean, I'd really love to see Phoenix take this and go 2-0 just to match my prediction. You know, I stated earlier that NFG was going to have that early game, but Phoenix was going to take it in that mid to late game and take the game and just carry through and take game 2. But with the composition that I'm seeing right now, I don't feel comfortable with that. I think NFG might just take this game.
Well, just for the lulz, I'm going to think that Phoenix is going to utterly smash. Oh, he's been talking too much smack. I want to see him get beaten down. I'm saying 2-0. We'll have to see in a second or two after we kick it to a break. Don't touch your browsers. We'll see you in a moment.
My name is Tim Borseth, and I own and operate Games XP in Decorah, Iowa. Games XP is a geek paradise. We carry everything from Pong and Atari all the way to Xbox One and PS4, and all the games that would go with those consoles as well. We also carry a ton of movies. We have handheld games. We have Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon. We have D&D and Pathfinder. We carry Warhammer 40K. We have a vintage Star Wars selection. This place is great. My wife and I have had 6 kids, and they are so much fun to work with here at the store. They run the store as much as I do.
And we now repair cell phones, game consoles, computers, and small electronics.
Our store is instant fun. Not only is there cool music and cool stuff to look at, but we have a game room that is so much fun. It's free to play, and you just plug in your game system and enjoy life. The Game XP motto is bringing joy to people's lives through our products, people, and a place to play. So you have got to come to Decorah, Iowa and check out Games XP and experience this geek gaming paradise.
And we are back to the GXPC. NFG is down 0-1 against a, I guess, a little bit more of a normal Phoenix Rising composition. NFG is pulling out all the stops. They finally put in the most deepest of pocketest of picks of Super Scyther Teemo. And you're feeling like it's a possibility. Can this Super Scyther Teemo even get first blood onto the NAJs?
I mean, you know, it's possible depending on what he starts. I wouldn't be too concerned about that. Honestly, I'm kind of concerned about Arrow playing Tristana. I don't think I've seen him play any other champion other than Varus, so to see if he can be proficient on another ADC might be interesting.
I think he played Lucian once, but I could be remembering wrong.
Just looking over at the chat real quick, Skyson says his blood is boiling for game 3.
I mean, I don't think there's any reason
man.
to not have a game 3, basically, is the way that I think about it. Even if we need to change the script mid-season to make sure that all the games run to game 3, because as everyone knows, this is not a live event. It's actually, you know, like produced, and there's a team of writers that you know, make sure that every game is very well done to a T. I mean, it sounds like, you know, I'm screaming up slicing Maelstrom, stuff like that, but it was pretty obvious actually that Phoenix was going to win had you know, paid attention to reading. I don't know if you read your version of the script as closely as I did. I knew it was going to happen. So I do know what's going to happen this game. I guess I won't spoil it for the audience.
It's like WWE. We know what's going to happen. We know who's going to die at minute 5.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really, really convenient, but it doesn't detract from the show at all. Still about, hey, brother, look at the...
All right, Randy Savage. Calm down. Let's get back to the game.
Well, the game hasn't really started yet. We're just getting some buffs. We're just chilling. Actually, how is the kind of early game potential of these teams, speaking of?
What do you mean?
I mean, like, who gets to engage in their lane, which jungler gets to go, in at level 2, and my top laner's going to alto 4.
I'm going to have to give this one to Cleansing Morgana. You know, bot lane getting kills on the Lucian Tark. It's just the Q binding and barrels just too strong. Tristana still a very strong ADC. Even in the early game, her scaling is just very well rounded. Honestly, could use a nerf.
Actually, level 2 jumps forward, flash out of Darkese instantly. I don't know if that's enough damage. It's not, but the exhaust onto Noontrinks to pull his flash. He doesn't use his heal. 2 flashes instantly burned for the price of an exhaust. Pretty nice.
But we do see Cleansing down there.
Cleansing is hanging around, but I think he's backing.
I think
Harbinger
backing out.
trading as well. Man, I would have flashed right into that.
I'd have taken it. Take it.
Maybe that's why I'm not playing in this league, and potentially why I'm playing by like casting. You don't know, but that was a really, really good level 2 trade, and the binding has to be dodged away from Noontrinks. That is, I think that would have 100% hit for GXPC, but he is a little bit low on mana. But Harbinger he feels really comfortable on this Smurgot as the Alistander Jax that you were oh-ho-hoing about. Getting pushed in a little bit, but it is pretty early in the game. And actually, Canadian Champ is on top of Super Scyther. He does flash, actually. Not sure about it. Might have been a little bit overzealous in the defense. The first blood is picked up for Canadian Champ. Speaking of overzealous, Case Blue is flashed there as well. Really great game coming out of Canadian Champ that we did not see in Game 1.
Yeah, that was very well executed. I don't think anybody was expecting a super early Amumu gank like that.
Yeah, and especially he barely clipped with the stun and the pull at the very last second. That's why I was a little bit curious about Kaze's flash. Maybe it's just making doubly sure that
a little preemptive. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, we don't want the NAJ's meme to live longer than it really needs to. So getting a kill on your jungler and a support and an assist for yourself early in the game kind of makes you feel a little bit better. How does Teemo build, by the way?
Teemo likes Sheen, Nashor's Tooth, you know, that kind of stuff.
Ah, okay. So like
Attack speed, AP.
AS. Sure. Okay, I follow you. He's like a Zir, but totally not. Is Teemo fun to play?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I've never played Teemo. I'm just curious. The root does hit onto Darkese, but a level 4 for the side of Phoenix to make him feel a little bit more comfortable. As another trade in the mid lane, Superstar does not have a flash. He gets knocked back. He's probably going to stun up here pretty soon. A lot of damage onto him. The Ignite's going to tick for K's, and a stun actually onto JS Penguin. Arrow apparently had to jump away. We did not see it. He's very, very low on health, but he does have a decent amount of gold in his pocket as well as back ready, but that's about it. Alexander's really low here. He's getting poked out. And actually looks like Arrow and Jason Penguin stayed, but that was 2 deaths in 5 minutes for the famed, the fabled Super Scyther Teemo. What's going wrong?
You know, I just think it's a Mumu playing very well with Kaze. They're working together. They're trying to knock this Teemo out. Jace into Teemo, inherently, not a good situation because the Teemo's blind and the poison. So Kaze was going to have an issue with that unless he could get some feed in. A Mumu coming down and helping that early and twice, once back to back. Like, come on, man. That's you know, that's kicking a man while he's down. But it's just going to prove, you know, we saw kind of a passive Canadian champ last game. This is on the opposite. He's super, super aggressive, trying to get that mid lane fed, trying to keep Kaze into the game as long as he possibly can. And you know, we might see Kaze pull another Kassadin where he's 10-0 at the end of the game.
Well, this game is a little bit farther along than the previous game, which might turn the 10-0 a little bit even faster than it was previous game, and also a little bit higher as well. And Harbinger has not been off to the races like he was in the previous game, which was by the fact of Super Scyther. Actually was the one that set up a lot of the kills for Harbinger to begin, and Super Scyther, who's been held down by Canadian champ, and Kaze has made it easier for Alexander. Just a few kind of rotations, if you will, and the entire team feeling a lot more comfortable outside of poor Nutrinks and Darkese, who are really just getting bullied hard with their flashes down. Nice dodge on the binding, by the way. Pick up a little bit CS here to kind of actually has a nice CS lead as the stun is going to hit onto Harbinger. I don't know if he wants to continue this fight. He doesn't have a very big back. Just a little bit of a trade in the top lane. It actually does jump back in. Flash away from Harbinger almost instantly. Wow, Alexander does a ton of damage.
Yeah, this is a great thing about Jax. You know, Harbinger can go in, throw out that W, which is that Gatling gun circle thing. If Jax throws out his E, the dodging circle of doom kind of thing. Yeah, Counter-Strike, you know. That's where all the damage from Harbinger is really going to come from. So the more damage you can block,
it increases the amount of damage that you do in the next auto attack.
Yep.
That's plus a stun, kind of unfortunate for the side of Harbinger.
Yeah, I mean, it's just Jax is like a ribbon. Just combo out every time proficiently, and you're good.
Flash forward on to James for Penguin. All the damage thing left to pick up. Nutrinks get an easy kill, plus a huge CS lead. He's feeling really, really good. Cleansing's kind of going in here. Might have gone too far. Nutrinks is going to get a double kill as Arrow's going to have to run away. Instantly, Kaze engages in the mid lane. He knows exactly where the junglers are, and he feels comfortable going on to Super Scyther. Wow, things just ratcheted up really fast in the bot lane. That is a 1K gold lead 8 minutes into the game just for Nutrinks, who's getting bullied a little bit there outside of his CS lead. They might even go for it. They do pop the Cosmic Radiance. It does actually take up a lot of the tower. It might be a little too much, though. Arrow does not get the kill. A little cheeky there from Nutrinks and company, but they get out without any punishment. As looks like Alexander wants to get onto Harbinger. He does get the stun onto him, but that's about the end of his Counter-Strike. And here comes Cleansing with the Predator. Oh, nice flash jump away. Things should come down here. Let's see if we can unpack a little bit what happened in the bot lane.
That was just awesome in the bot lane. I mean, you know, Darkese really doing what he can to help support Nutrinks there, but it looks like Nutrinks just wanted more than what they could chew off, and Narkis Darkey's just had to say, hey man, we got to back it up. This is too ham. So that's what they did. And they actually took the Ocean Drake while we were watching Jax go ham on Harbinger.
Well, speaking of Jax going ham, he pretty far behind in CS actually, and while he's trading pretty great, without kills to make up for the CS deficit, he's still pretty far behind in gold actually. Hopefully that Ocean Drake that you mentioned will help him out a little bit. A top laner recently told me that when an early Ocean Drake goes, he basically just AFKs and forfeits 15. I don't know about the legitimacy of that. I'm not a top laner myself, but I'm sure it feels bad that your opponent gets traded on and then just never loses any health forever.
Yeah, unfortunately, Jax is one of those that has a really weak early game. I mean, you saw the damage he was putting out, but it just wasn't enough to really bring Harbinger down. So Jax really has to try to focus more on his farm rather than poking down Harbinger.
Yeah,
kind of a double-edged sword, though.
Yeah, it is because, like, how do you trade against CS against the Urgot if you're not trading against him? But 32 CS is pretty significant at a 10-minute CSD, and we're gonna have to kind of keep our eyes on that. The rest of the map obviously doing very, very strong for the side of Phoenix right now. Almost 30 CS for the bot lane, equal mid, you know, outside of the kills, of course. But that is a bit of a point of contention, although Harbinger, yeah, we would have been at 4-0 by now in the previous game, so he's definitely not as scary as he was, but maybe that means he's not going to make some questionable decisions at the same time.
Yeah, I think what Harbinger is doing right now is just playing a little bit more passive, waiting it out. He's playing closer to the tower. He's not pushing into Jax. He wants to make sure that Amumu isn't going to come out of nowhere and try to kill him.
Well, the Amumu, who is on the Rift Herald at 11:30, has been a catalyst for what I just noticed is a 3,000 gold lead 11 minutes into the game without first brick being taken, but there's an engagement in the bot lane, a great stun coming out of Darkey's, plus a Cosmic Radiance. He's going to keep them alive for a little bit more. The culling is over. It's about most of the damage that Nutrix has, but he does finish off the kill onto Arrow. He gets a double kill onto Cleansing. Cleansing there with the big barrels trying to win things out, but Nutrix is just too strong. He's too tanky with the Cosmic Radiance. He does so much damage with Bork already completed, and there is Canadian Champ in the top lane to engage onto Harbinger. Let's see if Alexander can pull it out. He actually is not able to finish the kill, but he doesn't die in return. And I was just mentioning there's no first brick as Super Scyther comes top lane. We'll see a bot lane. Whoa, flash forward onto Canadian Champ. The blind goes. Super Scyther's mad that he is 0-2. He picks up his first kill of the game. He's on the board. He's going for another one. He's on to Alexander, but he gets the outplay. Alexander gets the kill. The bot lane tower does go. Flash away from Arrow just to keep himself alive as Nutrix, Darkey's, and K's are engaging upon him. First brick for the price of 1 Canadian Champ. That's 5K gold lead so far for the side of Phoenix. Insanely strong early game. That's a flash forward onto Jace for Penguin. They're not letting up on the pressure. So many kills have gone over to Nutrix so far. He's 4-0, so Darkey's might as well pick up his first kill of the game. Who needs it? Wow, that was insane engagements.
I mean, just to kind of go over that, we saw the Teemo come up to try to help Harbinger out after Canadian Champ had gone up there and try to get that early gank where they couldn't secure Harbinger. He just got away. Jax was too slow, or you know, he had a slow on him. And then Teemo comes up. Amumu actually goes down to the Teemo, but you know, he just kept pressing for more and more. Now Jax got the kill under tower. So now Jax is actually relevant in the game again. You know, he's at 85 CS with 1 kill versus the 100 and some that Harbinger has with nothing. Well,
I mean, a kill is like, what, 15 or so CS, so he's only now down about 10 CS down 30 CS a moment ago, as Harbinger, who's speaking of, is being engaged on right now. I don't know if they have enough damage, though. Alexander is going to have to 2v1, and he does get the flash onto Arrow. Easily kill picked up. I don't know if he can get Jace for Penguin, but he wins the 2v1 as his opponent Harbinger loses the 1v3 in the top lane. Super Scyther is getting engaged on a Canadian champ who is feeling it this game. He was engaging so much in the previous game, but he's so far ahead now that he can just keep going. They're sieging on a tier 3 tower bot lane at 14 minutes into the game. I don't know if they're going to get it, but this rapid speed is incredible as Rift Tower is actually dropped.
This is insane. I've never seen something this quick, but part of that has to be Nutrix on that Lucian being 4-0 with only a Borg.
He's so strong right now. He's so scary. Barrel on to Craze, but he gets away with the Cosmic Radiance, and that's going to leave Harbinger out to dry. I can't even cast fast enough. His culling is on to Jace for Penguin as the inhibitor goes down. Another tower on the Nexus goes down. This is 15 minutes into the game, and they kill the Nexus tower. They kill one tower. They're going on to the second tower. Shelly is going to charge onto it. 15 minutes into the game, they're on the Nexus. Super Scyther's behind. The star Teemo player, the Teemo main of the entire league is trying to salvage this game. Jace for Penguin, unfortunately, DCs. That is game 15 minutes and less than 20 seconds. That's a 2-0 in under 50 minutes gameplay. They're going to go for the kill because who cares? GG, 2-0 Phoenix. What?
That's got to be a record for the season, right?
I would assume so. I mean, that was before.
That was insanely fast.
Dude, what just happened?
I mean, Nutrix literally just walked it through. I mean, Scuttle was right there. We watched Canadian Champ drop it right on tier 3 tower. Boom, takes down that tier 3 tower. Nobody's there to contest. They take down that inhibitor, and then boom, tower, Nexus. It was literally, it took them like a minute from tier 3 tower to Nexus.
I don't think that Nutrix backed 3 times. He had backed for the cleaver, whatever the portion of the Bork is. Then he backed for Bork and Boots, and then the game was over.
Yeah.
He did 9,000, almost 10,000 damage in 15 minutes. He did as much damage as almost 3 members of NFG. That was supposed to be an NFG game.
Yeah, we won't talk about that. Yeah, Phoenix 2-0.
Hey man, you went for the 2-0 Phoenix from the start of the day.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong. You got the right superior analyst prediction on it. So I don't really know how to unpack this too much. Maybe we should just try and let Phoenix Rising themselves unpack it. Who do you think really was the star of that series?
You know, I'm gonna have to say Kaz. Kaz was just really good game 1, and he was very supporting in game 2. You see him with the 2-0 and 4. Canadian was a big part of that, but I think Kaz was like the strongest point.
I mean, he was supposed to be completely shut down by the Teemo, right?
He was.
So whether he, hard carried the second game or not didn't really matter so much as just not getting shut down. And with a little bit of help from his friends, he, was very much a second carry to the side of Nutrix, although there was a lot of strength to the side of Nutrix. Unfortunately, I believe Kaze is away from his computer. He is going to be awarded the MVP this game, but is there someone you want to talk to on the side of Phoenix Rising for our post-game lobby interview?
Well, I'd say Canadian Champ. He would be the second best. He was there throughout the entire game, really just supporting his team. He got the early kills for Kaz in game 2. He was always there in game 1, being that big ulti Moo that everybody fears. So I think Canadian Champ deserves the interview and the honorable mention.
Yeah, let's see if we can see what's up. How's it going, Canadian Champ? Congratulations on that Sonic Speedy 2-0.
Thank you. Excuse my voice. I am really sick today.
That's okay. We'll not We'll not push it too hard. But Jimmy, what you got a couple words for him?
I mean, what happened in game 2? I mean, it was literally a minute and you guys had ended the game. Like, what was going through comms at that point?
We just wanted to get her done and you know, let the other team do their homework or whatever it is that they had to do, because we were late to start game 1. So push for the finish.
Well, when did you kind of notice that you could finish at, 15 minutes in the game?
I think it was actually a bit of a coincidence, to be honest. No troll. Like we had a really good lead, a good advantage. The Teemo pick was a little questionable, so I wanted to abuse it since he didn't have TP. So I did the back-to-back ganks, and luckily for us, they were successful. So after that, bottom was winning on our team and had a good sized lead. Just timing worked out, it went from the dragon. The next objective was my topside jungle and Herald, and after I got that, bottom was already like in a really good position to push the inner turret, and they were trying to pull something really sneaky with Jace in the bush. So I just rotated over, got spotted out from wards, and just the rest was history. We just saw an opportunity to force a fight, and we thought we were just going to get the inhibitor, but it turned out where we got the game.
Yeah, dude. I can tell your voice is struggling a little bit. I don't want to push you too. Do you just have a few things you want to say to the broadcast? Any shout outs to your team or anything like that? By the way, it was Kaze that actually did get the MVP.
Oh, nice. Yeah, he like for the series.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think Kaze.
That's
pronounced Kaze. Yeah, it's all right. It's a little fancy,
Yeah.
Kaze and Darkess, they're having dinner like right now, so that's why they weren't in the Discord to be interviewed. I'm guessing. No, my team's great. I love them. They're all great, and we take turns carrying each other to the finish line in our victories. So I have a lot of respect for each and every one of my players, and we pretty much stay even tempered with each other anyways on voice comms, even when we fail or make mistakes in different games. So good group of guys to play with, and girl, of course.
Awesome, dude. Thank you very much. Congratulations on the win. Go rest up, feel a little bit better. You have a good night, dude.
Oh, hey, one more thing, guys.
Yes.
So there was a lot of friendly banter, let's call it, in the general chat between our AD carry, Nutrinx, and Arrow, their AD carry. I mean, Skyson is a self-proclaimed e-boy or e-girl or whatever he said for AD carries. I mean, after that performance, you gotta raise Nutrinx up to the top, Skyson.
Oh yeah, Anne is already thinking that he's a Smurf. Well, we'll keep our eye on him.
Yeah, you better watch out for that Nutrinx. Yeah, watch out for Nutrinx. He's smurfing hard on everybody. All the ADCs, he's smurfing on them.
Thanks, dude. You have a good one.
Yeah, later, guys.
Jimmy, what are your closing words for us, good sir?
I mean, I'm still just over here with my jaw on the floor trying to figure out. I'm trying to decompress and deconstruct that game a little bit. Yeah, that was a great game. If you really enjoyed that game, I really did. I'm sure a lot of you did. Be sure to follow us. We've got tons of social media outlets. All the links are on the Twitch page. They're on the bottom of the video right now. Be sure to follow, subscribe. Any of that stuff really helps us out. And stay tuned for the next game. I believe the next one is Saturday or Sunday.
I have no idea. It might be tomorrow, though. Usually it's the next day. I'll probably get confirmation of that as soon as I'm done. But anyway, our broadcast has been 1 hour, which is kind of ridiculous. It's Furious Gents versus KZ tomorrow at Schism. Excuse me, Furious Gents versus Schism tomorrow at 8 p.m. See you there. from us, thank you very much for tuning in. That was an hour-long broadcast. I don't even know what to say except for thank you very much for tuning in. We'll see you again soon. I see poor Timo's face on the broadcast. I'm sorry, little dude. Maybe
a little
next
sad.
time. Have a good one, guys.
You know, of course, thanks to Nick for streaming the game, staying up with us. You know, he's a great guy.
He's pretty cool. See ya.